So hello and welcome to Rev Sports. You're watching the post-play live show presented by the IDFC First Bank. I am Rev Tripathi and with me is Debashish Singh. Much like yesterday, it was an early end to the day's play. Again, because of the rain, although it didn't rain much, it was just a passing shower before the stumps were called off. But as you can see, it's not raining at the moment. The dark clouds are still there, and that's why the moment the dark clouds arrived, the groundsman covered the entire playing area and the stumps were called. Again, a lot of overs were lost. India were close to, wrapping Sri Lanka's first innings, but again, that tail wagged. Sri Lanka's tail wagged the last two partnerships. Sonal Dinusha added close to 100 runs, first 50 plus runs with Kishara Nuwanta, and then 30 plus runs with, Lahiru Kumara. So again, India's India unable to take the lower order wickets, has been was very frustrating to watch, and that's why they are still 2 wickets away from wrapping up Sri Lanka's innings. And Sri Lanka, on the other hand, they are 38 runs away from avoiding the follow-on. So that is something that they will be looking to do once they come out to bat tomorrow. And all eyes once again will be on Sonal Dunusha, who once again has looked superb, has been batting on is batting on 85 and will resume tomorrow. So Devashish, how do you look at the entire day? India started with 2 wickets already, and in the entire day they took 6 wickets. Yes, the conditions were not bowling friendly. It favored the batters more, but how do you think how must be the feeling of the Indian camp at the moment?
I think once again, Prashid Krishna showed that he has been the best fast bowler. The breakthrough that he gave early on, it was a peach of a delivery. And got the bounce, and that ball kissed the bat of the opening batsman
Kamil Mishara.
Kamil Mishara, and obviously he followed it up with another wicket. But the first 3 wickets out of the 4 was grabbed by Prasidh Krishna, and in fact he brought he looked menacing. Means it was he was just but Shubman Gill started with Prasidh, then it was later Siraj was brought from the press box end. But once again, I think Prasidh, the, the Surya Bandara did played well again last match. It was unfortunate he was has concussion sub, but I think he showed tremendous patience, temperament. But unfortunately, he got missed out. We couldn't score 100, got out for an 80. But Sunal Dinusha, once again, I think that you rightly mentioned about that tail. I think that 80-run partnership did at one point of time Sri Lanka never looked like even going closer to that follow-on, saving the follow-on. But as it stands now, I think India will definitely going to bat now. There is no way that India is going to inflict a follow-on. They would rather going to bat, and obviously they would rather leave at least bat for a couple of sessions. But first they have to get those last 2 wickets, and Sunal Dinusha will once again be the key for India come day 4.
And weather saved Sri Lanka again, because if the play would have happened, then obviously yes, the partnership was blossomed to 35 or something between Nairu Kumara and Sonal Dinusha. But India, in this fading light under dark clouds, they took a couple of wickets yesterday as well at the fag end of the day, just before the stumps, and they would have fancied their chances doing the same. And heading into day 3, they must have that decision, they must have that time to think whether to enforce the follow on or to bat again. They could have thought about it, but now that the margin has reduced, to 30 odd runs, and now the question will be, even if they get to they manage to take the early 2 wickets tomorrow morning, then also will they inflict the follow on, or will they bat again? But now coming to some of the important pointers that is coming from the press conference of Morne Morkel, which is going on at the SSC right now. First is obviously Rishabh Pant. A lot of you have been asking right throughout the day, where is Rishabh Pant, because Rishabh Pant didn't keep today. He didn't keep yesterday as well. It was Dhruv Jurel who has been keeping uh, ever since Sri Lanka have come out to bat. So the update on Rishabh Pant is that Rishabh Pant's right shoulder is badly bruised, and that is why he didn't come out to keep. And it looks unlikely that he will come out to keep tomorrow as well. So for the Sri Lanka's entire innings, you might not see Rishabh Pant keeping, because Indian team ultimately wants the Rishabh Pant, the batter, to stay to remain fit, because in the last match there was a collapse in the second innings, India's second inning, and then Rishabh Pant played that match-saving innings of 66, a match-defining innings of 66. So that's why Indian team is taking precautions with Rishabh Pant. There is a long cricketing calendar. He might be called up for the West Indies ODIs as well when the Asian Games will be going on in Japan. So that's why Team India is not taking any chances with Rishabh Pant, as it was the case with Shubman Gill and KL Rahul as well. So yes, this is the latest on Rishabh Pant. And on Prasidh Krishna also he spoke, Debashish. On Prasidh Krishna, Morne Morkel said that a lot of outside noises are on Prasidh Krishna. A lot of people question his ability, question his skill set, but the team management, the captain, has full backing in him.
Yeah, that is what Morning Marshall said, that the media as well as the commentators are at his back. Team management always had the faith in him, and that is what you want as a player. Means you want the confidence of the team management. In this case, Gautam Gambhir, Morning Markel. Morning Markel has been working on the Prasidh Krishna ever since the team arrived in Sri Lanka, and the results are paying. Means obviously he had a good series test match against Afghanistan, and he followed it up with this. But then obviously with Jasprit Bumrah coming back, I think India will definitely go with Prasidh Krishna as a third seamer. Means even if Harshit Rana gets fit, or there are other, Akim Nabi has been in around. Gurnur Brar has also been here.
Akash
But
Deep, if he gets fit.
Akashdeep, I don't think, because how many races you are going to take. Means obviously, had he been playing in the Duleep Trophy, then you can say. But I think Prasidh Krishna has improved leaps and bounds ever since that series against England.
And that you can see the improvement with the lines that he is bowling now. It's not that erratic, inconsistent Prasidh Krishna. Now he understands that he is also one of the leaders of the bowling attack. If he's being picked ahead of a Gurnur Brar, if he's being picked ahead of a Akib Nabi, the other two pacers in the squad, he understands that he needs to take wickets. He needs to make an telling impact with the ball, or he might lose his spot, because such is the competitiveness of this team. Everybody is fighting for their spots, and so is the case with Prasidh Krishna as well. But start every time now, it has become a theme of this series that Debashish, that whenever Shubman Gill needs wickets, either he turns to a Prasidh Krishna or a Manav Sutar. That is what we have seen in Gaul as well, and we have been seeing it here. The young bowlers are making the impact for the young captain.
Yeah, absolutely. And Manav Sutar has been a revelation. Means ever since he made his debut in that test match against Afghanistan, he has been the go-to bowler for the Indian captain. And he is doing justice to his potential. Even today also, he got that crucial wicket. So I think and it augurs well for India. But the point is that it will be a tricky situation. It will be a tricky situation. I'm not talking about the series against Australia, Vaibhav. I'm talking about this series is done almost. Only one more innings. But I think the important thing is that what to do with a Manav Sutar and Dhruv Jurel, who have been really done well in this series. And Devdutt Padikkal might just be fortunate to keep his place as number 3. I don't think it will be at the expense of Sai Sudarshan, but for Manav Sutar in that series against New Zealand, I think he might just struggle to be the second spinner if conditions are overly in favor of seamers.
Yeah, and this is where the selection headache once again comes in. Their Indian team is blessed to have a lot of resources for all departments. You just look at the spin bowling department, the number of off-spin bowling options you have. You have Saransh Jain playing here. Tanush Kotian is doing really well in Duleep Trophy. Then you have Washington Sundar, who will definitely come back whenever he's fit into the scheme of things. And then if you look at the left-arm spin bowling options, you have Manav Sutar, Ravindra Jadeja. Then you have Harsh Dubey back in India. Then pace bowling attack. You have lot of options, and that's the beauty of Indian cricket. That's what the depth of Indian cricket is. But as Debashish mentioned, when the few of the first choice players like Jasprit Bumrah, Washington Sundar, Nitish Kumar Reddy will come back, then what will happen to spots of Manav Sutar and Dhruv Jurel? Now Dhruv Jurel has batted really well and has done enough to retain his position. But what will happen if Nitish Kumar Reddy, because he's an all-rounder, and in New Zealand conditions, you would want your a seam bowling all-rounder, and India only have one proper seam bowling all-rounder, that is Nitish Kumar Reddy. So again, it will come down to the fight between Nitish Kumar Reddy, Dhruv Jurel, and Washington Sundar. They might go with Washington Sundar and Nitish Kumar Reddy, both. Who knows in those conditions? Because Washington has done well as a batter as well overseas, scored that 100 as well in England. So yes, that is a debate, but we will discuss that closer to the New Zealand series. But coming to today's action, Devashish, today it looked like that it was a good day for India, but they didn't bowl a lot of good balls. It was that Sri Lanka played bad shots. It was not that Indian bowlers did a lot out of the surface. If you look at some of the dismissals, were soft dismissals. Starting with Kamil Mishara, there was no need to play that shot. Then Kamindu Mendes, he could have dispatched that shot delivery anywhere, but he
Only
found
one
the fielder.
fielder was placed for that
Exactly.
shot, for that catching.
Only one fielder on the leg side.
Ravindra Jadeja.
Exactly, and that was the last fielder that you would want to have. And Ravindra Jadeja, seconds of dismissal. Look at Pasindhu Suryamandara. After making a hard-fought 80, he just edged one ball inside edge and then onto the stumps, rolled onto the stumps. And even a Keshara Nuvanta, that 50-run partnership was already done between Sonal Dinusha and Keshara. And then he just chipped it one straight to the mid-off. A lot of soft dismissals. Would you say that it was a good day where Indian bowlers didn't try too much? It was just Sri Lankan batters threw their wicket away.
Yeah, absolutely. But one bit of disappointment for the Indian team is Sarang Jain. Means a lot was expected of Sarang Jain, but to go wicketless means he was brought into the attack as early as 11th over. He was given the ball first.
He was bring as a first change bowler.
Yes, first change as the spinner, but except for that loud appeal where the review means obviously the umpire gave out, but the review showed that it kissed the bat and went to his pad. But I think it was a very disappointing day because something that he would be hoping that to make a contribution, he did not score much with the bat as well. So overall, I won't say that he might just tick the boxes, but you have to wait. Maybe for him to get another opportunity, he might have to wait a fair bit because with Washington Sundar coming back, then you have a Manav Shutar already doing well. You have a Ravindra Jadeja. So I don't know. Means obviously New Zealand series he will anyway not get picked, but Australia series, the 5 test matches, he might just struggle to get his place in the 15.
And let's analyze his bowling a bit more because debut game not easy, not always easy to come and make an impact straight away. Obviously nerves will be there when you are playing your first game for your country. But today was that day when you will see the figures of all 3 spinners. Ravindra Jadeja has got a wicket. Manav Sutar has got 3 wickets. But if you look at Sarang Jain's figures, he doesn't have a wicket, but he has bowled more maidens. He has a better economy rate. So he had applied pressure from his end. It was just that Manav Sutar got the wickets and Ravindra Jadeja also got a wicket, which Ravindra Jadeja himself would say that it was not the best of his deliveries, not the best of the deliveries that he has bowled, but he still got the wicket. In Sarang Jain's case, he turned the ball a lot, especially against left-handers. He beat Sonal Dinusha on a couple of occasions. Again, that slice of luck that you need as a bowler sometimes in these conditions, which we talked about Mohammad Siraj as well involved, that was missing in the Sarang Jain's bowling.
But I don't think he can just go through a batting lineup. You talk about a Manav Sutar, you can immediately say that he is one bowler who looked the most menacing in these conditions. Means you can easily you can have the confidence of the captain of Bharat throwing the ball to him, and he delivered. He has time and again in both the test matches. He looked like the most threatening bowler among the spinners from both the sides. Means you have a Prabhat Jayasuriya. He has, I think, he is the best of the lot. But Sarang Jain, I think, he bowled at good areas. He beat the batsman. But for me, to go through the batting lineup, I think Sri Lanka's batters also played well, especially Sonal Dinusha. Once again, he resorted to sweep shots. He was comfortable. He looked quite assured. Among the Sri Lankan batters, Sonal Dinusha stands out as the most assured against the spinners, and that is what maybe for the unfortunate part of for Sarajan, because he was categorically brought into this playing 11 for the left-handers. So that is why I think at least had he got a wicket, he could have been the most happiest person. But that was not the case, to go out wicketless in against the left-handers. I don't know what means. Obviously, that is my thought, Vaibhav, if you ask me. Um, because see, as a spinner, you have been brought into the playing 11 because they have an extra left-hander, and then to not get a wicket, you might be unlucky, because even the bowler may to bowl well, but he can be unfortunate. I don't know what is your assessment, but I think for him to play continuously for India, I think he has messed it out. Means obviously had he got a couple of wickets or even a one wicket, he could have again get that confidence of the team management. But in this case, he would be very fortunate if he gets picked for that series against Australia. Provided if Washington Sundar, if he gets fit, I think Washington Sundar will walk into the side.
Yeah, without a shadow of doubt. See, Washington Sundar has earned the trust of this team management. You remember the New Zealand series where he ran through New Zealand's batting. Yes, India obviously lost the series. That's why you don't remember the contributions of Washington Sundar with the ball. But Washington Sundar, as an all-rounder with the ball, with the bat, has taken a few important wickets. Yes, not a lot of 5-wicket hauls or 4-wicket hauls, but has made important contributions with the bat and with the ball. What is this? What's your opinion? Is it a draw, or India win, or Sri Lanka win? Sri Lanka win is out of picture. Sri Lanka win, Devashish, is out of picture.
No way, no way. Only way India's chances of winning is more. And then the second, obviously, if again rain has played a spoil sport in all the past 3 days, plenty of overs have been lost, and once again, it will again depend on how Sri Lanka bats. How Sri Lanka bats, this partnership, if the partnership can at least avoid the follow-on, at least if they can put another 40 runs, means that can dent the confidence of the Indians, because Indians will love to get early inroads, and I still feel Vaibhav, India won't inflict follow-on. Even if they get them out, I think they will bat for a couple of seasons, because on the fourth innings they would want the Sri Lankans to bat.
And also, I think lot of decision making will also depend on how much time you have left, how much you can play into the weather's hand, because weather is again you cannot trust the weather forecast here that we have known since being here in the last 1.5 months, that if weather is telling, forecast is telling you something other can happen opposite to what is predicted or forecasted. So again, team has to take the weather into account in whatever decision they make, whether it's to enforce the follow on or to bat again. Again, the weather factor has to be kept into account. Sporting Destination is saying tail-enders have been a nemesis for India for a long time. It's a decade-long love story. Yeah, and that's what we have been discussing. That Kesharan Umanta, yes, he's a bowling all-rounder, but then again, on irrespective of how good the batting conditions are, you cannot allow that partnership to go on and go on for more than 50 runs. You know that was missing, and then even after that,
Lahiru Kumar are playing 50 balls.
That again.
How can you allow a number 9 batter to play 50 balls? That is not absolutely not done, and that is what has been hurting India. India should have got Sri Lanka all out today.
I think they could have tried more pacers against Lahiru Kumara. He just ramped it up like he did against Rishabh Pant and Dhruv Jurel in the first.
And you cannot blame the captain as well. He had all 4 catching fielders for the spinners, and Shubman Gill has used all the 3 spinners, and no one was underbowled, unlike what it was in ball with regard to Kuldeep.
Yeah, so but yes, that's what. This is what the hardening part is, that yes, you have taken wickets, but somewhere in your mind you must be thinking, if you are an Indian team fan or if you are from the Indian team, that maybe we could have wrapped Sri Lanka's innings earlier and things could have been very different heading into day 4. But now 2 more wickets to take, and then we have to decide whether to enforce the follow-on or whether Sri Lanka can avoid the follow-on, and then you'll have to bat again. So again, last two partnerships have kept India at the bay, and this will definitely frustrate the Indian camp more than the Sri Lankan. Sri Lankan camp must have been relieved that they have got away. Otherwise, in this fading light, it would have been difficult for them. And who knows, Devashish, that if the 2 wickets would have been taken and there was enough time, India would have enforced the follow-on, given the bad light, and take a couple of more wickets with the
Maybe Vaibhav we make a very valid point, because with fading light,
Yeah.
India might just, but new day, I don't see India inflicting the follow-on. Rather, they would love to bat for a couple of sessions and have at least 4 sessions to go at the Sri Lankans.
Yeah, these conditions still look good to bat, and it hasn't deteriorated much. And then this is where batting becomes important, because fourth innings, irrespective of the conditions, never easy. Never easy. Even in Gaul, yes, there was partnership between Dhananjay De Silva and Sonal Dinusha, that 95-run partnership on the last day, first session. But after that, wickets fell like a pack of cards. It's about partnerships. If you can build partnerships, then obviously you are in the game. And for Sri Lanka, unfortunately, they couldn't build those partnerships. It was Pasindu Suryabandara, Kamindu Mendes, Sonal Dinusha, these 2-3 partnerships, and then Kesharan Umanta partnership. Apart from that, no big partnerships, and that's what has hurt Sri Lanka badly. Not just in this Test match, in this series, in the entire series. That yes, the contributions have come from players, but big partnerships have been missing, and that's where they have lagged, and that's where they have not been able to bridge that gap between India and themselves. But Devashish, now talking about that innings from Pasindu Suryabandara, last innings he played, he came as a concussion substitute. He was not at all ready. It was Dinesh Chandimal, because he got out injured. That's why he has to come in. And the first ball that he faced, it was a lovely tossed up delivery. It was a peach from Manav Sudhar. You got a golden duck on your maiden innings, your debut innings. Then you come into this test match, with a golden duck behind your back, and you are batting at a very important position. Then you score a 80 against a very good bowling attack of India. What do you make of his innings?
I think it was a good knock. It was an excellent knock, given the situation Sri Lanka were in. Means of 8 for 2 overnight. Means it was always going to be tough and challenging in the first session. And he did well. He did not let go an opportunity where he needs to score. He scored boundaries. He used his feet against the spinners. And he looked quite positive for a number 3 batter. And the thing is that, yes, he will be unfortunate, and he will be most displeased with the fact that he could not score those 20 more runs. Means that best 100 against an opponent like India. See, apart from Bumrah, this is a full tilt Indian bowling lineup. So I think, but he will take in a lot of confidence. He showed a good temperament. Means that partnership with Kamindu Mendes, and then I think. But once again, it brings me to the point that the Sri Lankan captain has been very unfortunate in this series. He was expected to take more senior role, but that has not been the case. Today also he was looking promising, but that shot that he played was totally uncalled for.
And that's where Sri Lanka's problem lies. The batting has a lot of inexperienced players. You don't have a lot of experienced seasoned players. It is a team in transition, has been for a long time. But that's when as a senior player, you have to step up. And that's where you were expecting better from Kamindu Mendes, the vice captain Dhananjay De Silva. Because Sonal Dinusha playing only his 5th test match, he's actually doing more than the senior ones, more than the already established players. And then you have a Pasindu Suryabandara playing his first full game and showing a lot of application, great resistance, which other batters couldn't do. And that's been the problem for Sri Lanka, that there hasn't been a one innings where the whole batting unit has clicked together, has come together. You look at a Niroshan Dickwella, how he got out. Last game he got out manufacturing a shot. Today it was a trickle down again. That was a nothing delivery from Mohammad Siraj. I don't think even he would be proud of that delivery. Just that it was a lucky dismissal, and this has been the case for Sri Lanka. A lot of soft dismissals, and that's why I said that it was a good day for India, but not a lot of good deliveries took the wickets. It was just that Sri Lanka's shot selection, Sri Lanka didn't bat too well, and that's why they are in a position where they are staring at a loss, and not just a test loss, it's a series loss. It will be a series whitewash, but again, weather factor will come into play. But since we talked about India's bowling, Devashish, one concern, one concern has been about Mohammad Siraj. Mohammad Siraj was bowling in high 120s but was unable to operate at 130 plus. Whereas if you look at a Prasidh Krishna, his average speed was 137 and he bowled at 145 as well. So he bowled full tilt, more intensity, looked like the threatening bowler who can take a lot of wickets. But if you look at Mohammad Siraj, what was missing in I have not seen Mohammad Siraj even the conditions were not very exhausting. It was not very hot out there.
Unlike golf.
Exactly. So I don't know what has happened with Mohammad Siraj. Is he too tired or what? But Mohammad Siraj didn't look like the Mohammad Siraj of old today.
Absolutely. I think that is why I have been time and again saying that Prasidh Krishna has looked more menacing, more threatening amongst the two Indian pacers. Even in that practice game, Vaibhav, if you remember, Prasidh Krishna and Gurnur Brar both impressed. It was the choice between Prasidh Krishna and Gurnur Brar. It was eventually the team management decided to go with Prasidh Krishna. But Mohammad Siraj, once again, he has given breakthroughs in that ball test in both the innings. Yeah. But unfortunately, he has not looked to be taking from that performance. And that is hurting for India big time. Today was an ideal scenario. 8 for 2, you come with a new bowler, comparatively new Cherry, 8 overs old, I think. 8 overs old. So I think all but that was the reason why I think Shubman Gill started with Prasidh Krishna.
Yeah, and that's why even he recalled Prasidh Krishna before the lunch session, so that he can break that partnership, and then that partnership was broken by Prasidh Krishna with the wicket of Kamindu Mendis. But now I think Devashish will take his leave because he has joined the Bangla show. And thanks Devashish for joining and providing your inputs as always. And we will continue for a few more minutes. So yes, Mohammad Siraj again, not sure what is wrong with Mohammad Siraj. He didn't look like his best, and hopefully everything is right with his body, because time and time again, whenever we have seen Mohammad Siraj bowl for India in Test cricket in this format, he loves this format. He has taken a lot of wickets and he gives it all. He is a lion-hearted bowler. You can never question his commitment. But today, on a wicket where Asita Fernando has taken 4 wickets, Prasidh has already 3 wickets to his name. Mohammad Siraj taking only 1 wicket, that too of a loose delivery. Again, that's a day where Saranjan bowled decent but couldn't get wickets, and Mohammad Siraj, despite not bowling well, he got a wicket. And that's what Test cricket is all about. Sometimes a bowler who is bowling his best still goes unlucky, and a bowler who's not at his best, at his absolute best, still gets away with 1 or 2 wickets, and that's what happened with Mohammad Siraj. But tomorrow, India's approach will be interesting to see what approach they have. Are they going to enforce the follow-on? If Sri Lanka avoids the follow-on, then obviously they'll have to come out to bat again. But if Sri Lanka fails to avoid the follow-on, then will they enforce the follow-on, or they come out to bat again? Devashish thinks that they will come out to bat again, and it looks like the scenario, because the margin has been reduced. If this was 100 runs, Sri Lanka still need 100 odd runs to avoid the follow-on, then of course India would have enforced the follow-on. But now the chances of that happening looks slim. But India will still take the day, because 6 wickets fell on a pitch that is still looking good for batting. If you apply yourself like a Pasindhu Surya Bandara did, Sonal Dinusha did. Let's talk a bit about Sonal Dinusha before closing the show, because we talked thoroughly about Pasindhu Surya Bandara as well. Sonal Dinusha has looked like one batter that has got the answers of all plans that India has thrown at him. Whatever India has thrown at him, Sonal Dinusha seems to be ready for all the challenges, and never once in his innings he has looked out of sort or looked in discomfort. He has looked very assured with a calm head. He's been scoring runs, and that confidence is evident with his footwork against pacers, spinners. He has employed the sweep shot really well, has probably played the sweep shot best of all the batters who have batted in this series. And you know, Sonal Dinusha, to me, obviously Devdutt Padikkal has also scored runs, but because of the struggling, because of the inexperience and the fact that Sri Lanka is struggling, Sonal Dinusha's runs becomes more valuable to a team like Sri Lanka. So regardless of what is happening on the other end, he's continuing his form, his batting, he's scoring those runs despite not a lot of support from the other batters. So I think Sonal Dinusha has made a strong case, and he's doubled. He's hammering on the same fact that why Sri Lanka are banking on him, why he's been regarded, why he's been rated so highly in the Sri Lankan cricketing circles, and that is why we have done a special feature on Sonal Dinusha as well. You can read that tomorrow. It will be out tomorrow on revsports.in. I spoke to his coach. He spoke at length about how Sonal Dinusha started his career, the sweep theory, how much he likes to play that sweep shot, and how he mastered the art of playing spin. Everything. It's a beautiful story that will be out tomorrow at revsports.in. You can read the story of Sonal Dinusha's coach talking about his journey, and not too far away, Colombo Cricket Club is there where Sonal Dinusha comes from. So yes, Sonal Dinusha has been the find of the series for Sri Lanka. Not a lot of positives to take, but Sonal Dinusha has been one among few positives that Sri Lanka can take away from this series. But tomorrow again will be a big challenge when India will come out to if India will come out to bat. How quickly they score, Rishabh Pant's where Rishabh Pant will bat, and how much Rishabh Pant is ready to bat. I think that will be interesting to see tomorrow. Again, there is a forecast of rain, but we don't know how much rain will play a spoil sport. Today, entire day it was forecast of rain, but only at the fag end of the day and the start of the day there was rains. Otherwise, it was a fine day for on-field action. So yes, let's see tomorrow what awaits us at the SSC. We will be back for the morning live show, and before that, a weather video will be updated at 8:30. So keep a track of everything because we are bringing you the best coverage of the India-Sri Lanka Test Series from the ground zero. So yes, we'll be back tomorrow, and let's see what is in store for us on day 4. And day 4 could be the deciding day of this Test match. Thanks for watching. This live session was presented by the IDFC First Bank. So thank you.